becoming a king also stops himself from having a king as a brother. How would you interpret that?
Whoever stops his brother
From becoming a king stops himself from becoming a brother to the king.
Well, I think in life it is important to support each other and to be happy about each other's growth. Because it is in doing so that we also get the same favor back. So if I support you, or if someone supports me, to succeed in my endeavors, then I'll definitely value that person and ensure that they're next to me all the time. So by so doing, if I become the king or the queen, then they will be the brother or sister to the king or queen.
And the benefactors at that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is. So you can choose.
Yes.
So when we look at culture across the world, there is no culture, and I just looked up this, there is no culture that celebrates without the inclusion of food.
Yes.
Nobody has a celebration without food. Yes. It doesn't matter what it is. And even in times of mourning, there is a food factor that will bring people together.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So this food plays a role in anything that we do. Whether we're celebrating, we even have people who, what do they call it? When they're depressed is when they eat.
They eat more.
It's called, there's something called, it's called, what is something dependent?
Stress eating.
Thank you, stress eating.
Yes.
So this food is a part of our everyday existence.
Yes.
But then we see that we raise it a little bit when the festivities come along, like Christmas and getting into the new year.
Yes.
And that people, if you go to the supermarkets from like tomorrow, going into next week, you will stand in line as though we're waiting to measure our eye to get 7,500 shillings. But we are also saying that, is it possible? Because it's common. Agnes, it's 3 days.
Yes.
Let people just eat and just be merry, and then see they'll eat cabbage later. No?
Well, food, of course, is part of our everyday living. Okay? And you find that what determines what one eats depends on either the geographical location they are in, their economic status, their social status, their health status, and so many other factors. And, food performs different functions in our body, other than keeping our bodies healthy. But food also has an effect on our mood, such that, there are certain kinds of foods that you eat and they'll just elevate your mood. And there are certain foods that, or maybe a certain way that you eat, and it kind of like lowers your mood and so on and so forth. So food has relationship with culture. So there are those foods that are commonly eaten during festivities.
Yeah.
Either because maybe they are rare, you cannot afford them on a daily basis, and therefore they would be eaten during certain events or festive seasons. And also, there are foods that probably are prepared in a certain way that if they're eaten on a daily basis, they would lead to unhealthy outcomes.
Okay.
So it is allowed if you eat them occasionally as opposed to eating them on a daily basis. So during the festivity season, of course, there are those foods that are commonly consumed in our Kenyan context.
Yeah.
Like, for example, of course, pilau will never ever miss on any event or festive menu. Chapatis will not. Yes. Lots of nyama will not miss, chicken, fish, and what have you. And of course, the sweets like the cakes and so on and so forth. But however, if you look at the way these foods are prepared, for example, if it's chapati, the chapati, for example, is prepared from that which is commonly liked by most people, from white refined flour.
Okay.
Okay. And to make the chapati soft and tasty, you have to use a lot of oil.
Okay.
Now, what are the implications of taking excess oil, refined grains, and so on and so forth? Okay. Of course, they have an impact on the metabolic, body's metabolism, such that you add more fat to your body. Yeah, when we eat a lot of refined carbohydrates, the excess is converted into fat. When we eat excess fat, the excess is converted to fat, is stored as fat. And also when we eat excess protein, like the nyama, the excess is converted into fat. Okay, so we really need to be careful about how much we eat, especially during the festive season. Now, there are ways to ensuring that you have healthy treats during the festive season. You can have your chapatis. We're not saying that don't eat your chapatis. You can have your chapatis, but for example, instead of using refined white flour, you can use whole wheat or wholemeal wheat flour. Okay, and most of the time we use a lot of oil. We rub in oil to make the chapatis soft. Now, one way of softening chapatis that most people don't know is you can add yogurt to the flour to soften the chapatis instead of adding excess fat or excess oil. Now, if we look at a meal like pilau, it is commonly prepared with meat, okay? They fry the meat with a lot of fat, okay? So that, fat enhances the flavor of food.
Yes.
Okay, and also the taste and feel in the mouth. Now, you can make healthy pilau by incorporating vegetables. Okay, not sukuma wiki and spinach. No, I'm not talking about managu. Now, there are very healthy vegetables that most of us might not be aware of. Like, for example, green garden peas, French beans, courgettes, carrots.
You just make salad bus instead of putting it in the pilau.
No.
Let it be an option.
Well, you can have, remember, there's a place for vegetables.
Yeah.
Remember now, this pilau is a starch. Okay, this pilau is a starch, so it's a source of starch. But you can enrich it further by incorporating vegetables in it. So when you incorporate the vegetables take the place of the starch. The starch is higher in calories as opposed to vegetables. So you'll have a healthy pilau meal, that has vegetables. Remember when we started the show, you told me vegetables is one of the culprits that most people do not like eating, especially during the festive season.
You can chew on a head of cabbage at some point.
But I'm telling you, when that pilau is prepared with the carrots, and you will not even realize that there's a vegetable in this meal, because already the flavor of the pilau, it's the flavor of the pilau that people like. Okay, so what is in there, people might never ever pay attention to it. But as a nutritionist, I'd look at what are the ingredients in this pilau. Are they healthy or not? Okay.
People will tell you that pilau you're talking about is pilau from the mountain and not pilau from the ocean.
It is how you prepare the pilau that is important.
Yeah.
Yes, it is how you prepare the pilau that is important. And also use of fresh herbs like garlic, ginger, coriander, and so many others. There are very many herbs that can actually enhance the flavor of our foods. And most importantly, now, during the festive season, if we want to ensure that we do not overindulge, it's the mix of foods on your plate and the how much. Okay, just knowing, like now, when you are serving food, you have a buffet of about 20 different types of food. First and foremost, in any buffet, we'll have foods categorized in three major classifications: the starches, the proteins, and then the vegetables and fruits. Okay, now those are ingredients or components of a healthy meal. That you must have a starch, you must have a protein, and you must have vegetable and fruit, okay, within a meal to ensure that you have a balanced and healthy meal. Now, to teach people how to eat healthy during the festive season, we use the plate model. You'll use a plate to serve your food, okay? So we tell you
I'm sorry.
on that plate, okay,
Yeah.
divide it into half.
Okay.
Okay. Then divide one half again into another half so that you have one half and
Two
two
quarters.
quarters.
2 quarters,
Okay?
right?
Now, what food goes into the big half and what food goes into the other 2 quarters? Okay. Now, when you start with the starch, okay, one of the quarters will take up the starch. So you can have whatever starch that you want, even if there are 3-4 different varieties that you wish to have, so long as they do not exceed that quarter portion of the plate. Okay? Then you move to the proteins. Okay? The proteins again take up the other quarter of the plate. You can have as many variety of the protein as you want, so long as they do not exceed the quarter of the plate. Then you move to the vegetables. Now, vegetables are to occupy half of your plate. So you can have your salads, you can have your cooked vegetables, and so on and so forth.
Cha.
Yes.
Cha, cha. Many Kenyans
how big is that plate? That's his question. Sorry.
live a lot even that.
Yes.
Many have waited for this festive season to marry, right? With their family and friends.
Yes.
It's an opportunity, like I was telling Ndu, at home, my nieces and nephews,
Yes.
they're looking after kitoweo, mboga. Unajua mboga ceases to be vegetables during
Yes.
festive season. Mboga ni nyama, it depends ni gani. It's just the difference. But
Yes.
you see, many, pretty much, let's just be real, right? A lot of Kenyans today will look at, I'm going to enjoy myself. So a single plate will be full of proteins. Kuna nyama, so nyama ni ya ng'ombe, ya mbuzi na kuna kuku. And then unaongeza pia African sausage, muturai kwa hapo ndani.
Yes.
You know? And then the other plates now will have the starches, right?
Yes.
So your pilaus and everything else will be on another plate. So you have 2 plates already, and maybe a third one if I feel like having a slice of cabbage, which would now be that quarter. That is the reality on ground. But let's speak to this kind of eating that I've described and what that does to our body, so that people understand why you have a single plate and not 3. And in this plate, you have 2 quarters, where 1 quarter is where 1/2 is divided into 2, and the nyama that you're talking about is that single quarter. Yes.
Okay.
The eating that we do, what does that do to our body, and what are the effects when it gets to January? Because we say, boga ni ya January.
Yes. In life, things have to be done in moderation. Even food has to be eaten in moderation for it to be beneficial to your body. Our bodies require different types of nutrients, in order to be healthy. Okay? And of course, now, as a nutritionist, I translate those nutrients into now foods. I just advise you that on a daily basis, in a healthy meal, okay, ensure that maybe you have some starch, you have some protein, you have some vegetable, and you have some fruit. So first and foremost, I think it's important to educate populations on what a healthy diet comprises and what healthy eating comprises. There's the healthy diet and there's the healthy eating. The healthy eating is about ensuring that you have 3 meals per day. You do not skip meals, okay? And secondly is that at every meal, there has to be balance and moderation and variety, okay? Because foods are required, or nutrients are required in certain quantities every day. Whenever you have an excess of anything is harmful to the body. Like, for example, if your body just requires, let's say, 50 grams of fat in a day, okay? And then the food that you consume actually provides 150 grams of fat, okay? Now, what your body needs is just that 50. Now, the excess, okay, 100 grams, okay, is stored as fat, okay? And where is it stored? And it's not only fat that is stored as fat, but also when we eat excess carbohydrates. Excess carbohydrates, what the body needs to provide for its energy requirements, okay? It will use that, and then any excess that you have taken in will actually not come out at waste, but it will be converted and stored as fat. Okay. Again, when we eat protein, meats, okay, people know that proteins build the body. Yes. So what the body requires for building and renewing the cells, it will utilize that, and then the excess will be converted into fat and stored in the body. Where is this fat stored? You'll find that most of this fat is stored around the body organs, around your heart, around your liver, around your kidneys, okay? And then also around your fat cells, okay? And the fat that is stored around your organs is very dangerous fat, okay? Because that is the fat that now predisposes us to heart diseases, cardiac diseases, okay? Some of that fat, because the fat is in food, it will be digested and assimilated into your blood system, okay? As, remember, the blood transports the food nutrients into the body cells. So as some of that fat is in the blood being transported, some of it gets deposited inside your arteries, okay? Inside your veins, okay? So once that fat is deposited into your arteries, okay, your arteries start narrowing down, okay? They start narrowing down. Then what does that do? It increases your blood pressure. So you get conditions like hypertension, okay? Now, some of these fats that we consume are not healthy. They are high in cholesterol, okay? Also, when cholesterol is consumed in high amounts, and also our body synthesizes or produces cholesterol. So when we take cholesterol in excess amounts, again, that cholesterol is deposited inside your blood vessels, okay? And some of that cholesterol or fat can dislodge. And once it goes through a narrow section of your blood vessels, it will block or clog. And then what does that result to? Strokes.
Strokes.
You have heard about people getting strokes, you know?
So if it happens, it goes to the brain, it's a stroke, goes to the heart,
Yes,
it's a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So excesses are not good.
I hear you.
Yes, excesses are not good.
So can there be a healthy balance that can be played between then what you should be intaking and then the almost pressure of the festivities?
Yes. We can also take a healthy, balanced diet during the festive season. Of course, during the festive, it is completely impossible to ensure a healthy, balanced diet throughout. We shall indulge, okay? But, if it is occasional, like 2 to 3 days in a year, or maybe during a certain season, then it might not be as dangerous as indulging on a daily basis. Okay? So during the festive season, because maybe it is 2 or 3 days, yes, we allow for that indulgence or overindulgence, but it's important to be aware about what a healthy diet is and what the consequences of that indulgence over a long period of time can result to.
Okay.
Daktari,
Yes.
Sorry.
Unajua, kuna swali Linda ameuliza hapa.
Yes.
During this festive season, people will indulge, like you rightfully said.
Yes.
And a lot of it would see a lot of mixing of food.
Yes.
From a nutritional point.
Yes.
She says, let me just read. By the way, we are not supposed to mix proteins per meal. You go to a buffet, you don't serve meat, fish, and chicken. That will happen a lot. Is it advisable to mix red meat, white meat?
If it is during an event, there's absolutely no reason why you should not mix.
Okay.
Yeah. What are her reasons for believing that? Okay. Because from a nutritional point of view, what I am concerned as a nutritionist is
Portion.
the portion, okay, and how that food has been prepared.
Prepared.
Yes, so if you are in a buffet, there's fish, there's chicken, and there is beef, okay? I can take one piece of beef or 2 pieces of beef. I can take 1 drumstick of chicken, okay? And there was fish, chicken, and what? Yes,
Yes.
a drumstick of chicken. I can have a small piece of fish, and I can have 2 pieces of meat, and I can even add some lentils. Yes. To
So
my
her
plate,
question
so long
is-
as they do not go beyond the quarter portion.
Okay.
of the plate.
So, because she's asking, is that not too much protein? But I guess from that answer, that so long as it's not filling up more than a quarter of the plate, then it's fine.
Yes,
Even if there are various kinds of protein.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. But it is important to get advice on what your daily maybe protein portion should be like.
Okay.
Yes.
What is
But during a festive season, we even I cannot tell you that during the festive season, I also just eat the recommended 6 pieces of meat. No, on Christmas Day, I will overdo it, but with the knowledge that I have overdone it, and therefore maybe in the new year, I have to start burning the excess calories that I gained during the festive
New
season.
Year resolution.
Yes.
of course, as they normally come.
Yes.
So, what causes indigestion?
Well, indigestion can be caused by different factors, okay? It could be disease related,
Okay.
okay, a dysfunction in the body. Also, when we take in foods that are not well cooked, okay, not well prepared, okay, it could be a dysfunction of even maybe these digestive enzymes, okay. You could be lacking some digestive enzymes,
Okay.
okay, or they could maybe a dysfunction and so on and so forth. So
So, it's not
terms
from
of-
eating too much food.
well, at times also when we eat too much food, okay, and overwhelm our body, maybe the body is not able to respond by producing adequate amount of enzymes to digest that food. Okay, of course, so it can also lead to indigestion.
Digestion.
Yes, but that is not the only common cause of indigestion. There are also other health factors as well.
You mentioned about the foods that we eat that we eat cholesterol pretty much. So one would ask, what's that? So we are these foods that we eat that has cholesterol, because we know the body also produces its own cholesterol.
Yes.
And there is the other question on during this festive season, that those who will hide behind, I spoke to my nutritionist and they asked me to be purely on carnivore diet. So just break it down. Carnivore diet, what does that mean? Because someone will overindulge simply because it's
Yes.
carnivore diet and this is what I'm having because I want to bulk up and all these good things. Then there is New Year when I will then use the protein to go to the gym and lift. But is that healthy? That's the question.
Okay. Cholesterol is found only in animal fats. So we shall not get cholesterol in plant foods or even plant oils. So cholesterol is found in animal fat, and our body also synthesizes cholesterol.
So that means if
so
you
when
eat
we
more.
eat fatty meats, okay, and that's why we would recommend lean options or lean meats during the festive season. Like if you're eating chicken, remove the fat. And the advantage of that is that fat is very high in calories, okay? Like, for example, 1 gram of fat would produce twice the amount of energy a gram of protein or carbohydrate would give you. Yeah, so fat is very high in calories, and that is why all the time we are very conscious and cautious about your fat intake. We'll tell you, take in lean meats, use little oil in preparing your foods, go for healthy cooking oils and so on and so forth. So by just eating lean meat, ensuring that we trim off excess fat before we prepare, and also using cooking methods like roasting. Okay, roasting helps to reduce the fat content as well. Okay.
So, is there anything like the carnivore diet?
Well, the carnivore diet, I would imagine, is eating lots of meat, isn't it? Lots and lots of meat. So you'll find that there are people who go on a high protein diet to lose weight. Like they will eat the meat, okay, and maybe leave out any carbohydrates. And so on and so forth. That is very unhealthy because the body does not only require protein to sustain itself and to support, its metabolic activities. Yeah, the body will require some carbohydrate. It will require just enough protein for its functions and fat as well.
So which are those healthy carbohydrates that are not going to, how they say, a minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. So which are those healthy carbohydrates that they're not going, the ones with the unrefined that you spoke about?
Yes, the whole meal.
Okay.
Yes, anything whole meal. If it's maize, wheat, all the grains should be whole meal. Okay, because the whole meal have the fiber.
Okay.
All right, and then they are slowly converted into energy. Okay. So they sustain your energy levels over a long period of time, as opposed to the refined ones that are quickly converted into energy and will only give you like maybe very short, very short spurts of energy. Okay, so they make you feel hungry much faster. So the whole grain carbohydrates, and then also roots and tubers are very high in fiber. Like for example, sweet potatoes, matoke.
Cassavas.
Yes, nduma, and so on and so forth. So for a healthy breakfast, actually, if you just make this swap, instead of bread, have a piece of nduma or sweet potato. I'm telling you, it will keep you
the whole
full.
day.
Yes,
through until the
hour.
next meal.
Yes,
right.
up to lunch. Remember, also, in order to be healthy and keep off excess weight, do not miss meals. Have your breakfast, have your lunch, have your dinner. Missing meals does not necessarily help you lose weight. If anything, it makes you gain weight because you end up with hunger pans, and whatever it is that you will grab in front of you,
will store.
Probably on your way home, you will buy some peanuts that, these vendors come selling on the road. They'll be selling crisps, and when your eyes see those snacks, that is what the body wants because they want a source of quick energy because your energy levels are down. So number one, in trying to ensure that we do not gain excess weight, even during the festive season, make sure that you start off the day when your body is well fueled by ensuring that breakfast is your heaviest meal of the day. Now, in African societies, our food pyramid is upside down, where breakfast, we do not eat breakfast, we miss breakfast. Many people will tell you, me, I'm not a breakfast person. Yeah, I cannot eat
early in the morning.
I cannot eat early morning. Okay, so they start eating like lunch hour, and then the best meal,
main event.
Yes, the main meal is dinner. And you can imagine you eat a whole big dinner and you go to sleep. Does your body require that amount of energy? So it will store. So the body stores more if we eat a heavy dinner as opposed to a heavy breakfast. So instead of eating that food for dinner, in fact, I advise my clients, eat that food for breakfast. Breakfast, eat to your fill. Jazza your plate, you can even have your rice, your meat and vegetables for breakfast, or beans for breakfast. And as the day progresses, reduce the food portions because you need less energy as the day progresses. You need more energy as the day begins.
Okay.
Yes.
One issue that comes out to a lot of people, I just listen because in as much as we're having a conversation as around the festivities, Healthy Friday conversations allow us to look into issues that are real. And when we talk about 3 meals a day, that is not the reality for a lot of people in this day and age. 3 meals a day is a dream, kind of like Singapore. But anyway, we're focusing on food.
Yes.
And also the ingredients that are used to cook. We're looking at a mini economy whereby even cooking fats and things like that are stored in little packets.
Yeah.
But rarely are we looking, it's not even rare, never is the nutritional content of those things being looked at, because people are using what they can for sustenance and nutrition. What they can, not what they desire to do. Nobody's thinking, okay, does this thing have trans fats, polyglyceride? Nobody's thinking that.
Exactly.
People are thinking, will it fry the onions and the tomatoes to do the sukuma wiki with the ugali? Yes, done. That's what we are thinking about. Nobody's thinking about these other things. So unfortunately, that the health conversation, the healthy nutritional conversation takes a back seat, and survival is in the driver's seat. How is there a place where this conversation can start to be?
Yes, I think we need to start talking about our health, okay? What we eat and how it affects our health. Even in those small economies, it is possible to ensure that they have healthy food options, okay? And maybe what leads to this unhealthy eating and just getting, food to fill the stomach is also ignorance, lack of knowledge. If we invested in educating populations on prevention, nutrition, healthy eating is about preventive health. It's actually preventive health. That we educate populations on what they should eat in order to be healthy. And we also need to demystify, these misconceptions that healthy foods are expensive. Okay? Healthy foods are not expensive. Most of the healthy food varieties are those that were traditionally consumed in our communities. But now, because of modernization and civilization, we think that those traditional foods, are what? Are not fashionable, okay? Not modern. So we associate deep fried foods with modernization, okay? Whereas now the healthy foods, by the way, like sweet potatoes, arrowroots, matoke, and so on, how are they prepared? Boiling. Do you need fats, really, to prepare food? Yes, all you need is water, isn't it? And you have your food there. You don't even need to add anything to the sweet potato. It already has its natural sugar. And it's a very healthy source of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
It has fiber, good complex fiber. It has, energy that is slowly released into the food system, okay? Like, for example, the sweet potato is a very nutritious food, even for diabetics. Okay, many people would even maybe shy away from it just because it is sweet, and they think that now that's the sugar in the sweet potato is the same as the cane sugar, which is not the case.
Which is not the case.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. So healthy food options are not expensive. If anything, they are very, very affordable. You find that now the West is embracing organically grown foods that are being imported from Africa. And yet now we are going for the westernized foods that are deep fried. You go to the slums in Kibera, what you will find cooked as street foods, deep fried mandazis,
Chippies.
yes, chips and so on and so forth. Honestly, oil is expensive. It is not cheap. Yeah? Instead of deep fat frying that potato, if I don't need to, fat comes at a cost. I can just boil it and I have my very nutritious potato.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we need to educate populations that now, I think if you support us as nutritionists, okay, and providing such platforms for us to educate communities on healthy eating, then we shall succeed in making our populations
Healthier.
healthy and
Healthier.
appreciate, what healthy eating is, so that even during festive season, I don't have to go and heap my plate with a lot of meat and so on and so forth, okay?
Yeah.
Because they have the knowledge on what that excess intake has, the effect it has on their health.
You see, Doc, in all these that we talk about when you're preparing food, so there is the edible oils that we talk about, right?
Yes.
And many, even our listeners here, are asking, which are these healthy and safe edible oils that one can jump on? I know olive oil has been flaunted there. I know for a fact that we have the production of oil from sunflower oil and all that. But which are those that one would say is affordable for Kenyans that they can jump on board? Yes.
Okay. Like one of the most healthy oils we have, even in Kenya, is coconut oil. We have a lot of coconuts from the coast, okay? And that coconut, the coconut oil can be processed and like made available and affordable in the whole country. It is one of the most nutritious, healthy oils for the heart, okay? Even for patients who need to, sick persons who have malabsorption and you want them to add weight, okay? Coconut oil is the most recommended, okay? And it is locally available. So we can make it affordable for the larger population, okay? Other healthy options like olive oil. Of course, we do not grow olives, so definitely it will be very expensive. Okay. And then other vegetable oils that are healthy are sunflower. And I have seen an initiative to promote sunflower farming currently in our country, especially in the western region, which is a good initiative that the government is has identified that is one of the healthy edible oils, and the government is promoting its production. Okay. So in our country, what is locally available, I would say sunflower, okay, coconut, groundnut oil, okay, is also healthy. Sim oil. So we can eat groundnuts, okay. We can also eat groundnuts as whole groundnuts just to get the oil from it. Of course, if it is processed, it becomes more expensive. So one way of ensuring that you take in the healthy oils, you can take them, you can actually take the natural form, like eating coconut. Like now, since we know that coconut oil is very healthy, I don't have to wait for the cold pressed coconut oil. It will be very expensive. So like if I ensure that I buy a coconut every day and my family has, relishes that as part of, the healthy diet, I can grate the healthy coconut oil, incorporate it in my rice or even stew, and I'll be getting the healthy fats from the coconut.
So which are these because there's also a raging debate at the moment about seed oils then being bad for us. Some of the oils that you've mentioned, sunflower is a seed oil.
Yes.
Which is it true? Are these some of these seed oils over time causing damage to us?
Yes, we have to be cautious about the source of the vegetable oil. Okay, the source of the vegetable oil, and that is why I have singled out sunflower. Okay, also corn oil is good. Canola, I know canola is also produced in this country. It's grown and produced in this country. Canola oil is good. Okay, so if we are not aware about the source of vegetable fat, okay, just oils that are branded vegetable oils, we do not know the source, okay, because the variation in the structure, they vary according to the source, okay. So some may actually, when consumed in large quantities and maybe frequently over time, they actually increase the bad type of fats, okay, or lipids in our bodies.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you were to make a choice between animal fats and vegetable fats, which would you say we should use?
We should use like vegetable fats from coconut, from sunflower, from maize, okay, like corn oil. We have lots of corn oil in the market. We have sunflower oil in our market. Like on the bread, if you're to use as bread spread, I would recommend peanut butter.
Not butter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as opposed to butter. Okay. Though current research says that animal fats, when consumed in amounts that are not excess, are also beneficial to the body.
Okay.
Yes.
So that
but
would be-
now the excess, how much now for a layman?
Yeah.
Okay, to determine now what quantities are safe for me. Now, I think that is where the challenge is. And that is why, even if animal fat, some amount adequate, maybe amounts that are not excessive of animal fat can be beneficial. But again, we always emphasize that whenever you're eating any meat, okay, that has fat, trim off the excess. Okay, so that now you're only left with what your body requires. When you're eating any poultry, remove the skin of the poultry before you prepare.
You know, Doc, that there's the smart way how people try to beat the system, and that would be that. So I will have my chicken, and how I would want to beat the system, or the advice that you're giving is to use the oils that are coming from that chicken. So I'm not adding extra oil. I'm just, once the thing is on the sufuria and
Fries itself.
it's fries itself, and that is what I'm using. If it's a fatty say beef that I've bought, I'm using its own oil to cook itself. And one would say it works because I'm not adding extra oil for me to cook. Does that make sense? Or is it just a way of mainly trying to beat the system, but it is not healthy for them? What would be your advice? Yes.
Actually, what is most important is to consider how much fat that meat has. Like, for example, if you have a kilo of meat, okay, and half a kilo is fat, honestly, that is too much fat, excess fat. Maybe that is fat that should be consumed in a whole month, other than at one meal by, yes, a family. Okay, so it is not that just because this is fat that is part of the meat, then it is healthy and it is not excess. Remember, chicken has skin, which has fat, and yet we tell you remove the skin of the chicken before you prepare it. Why? Because the fat in it is excess. If you eat the whole of maybe the skin of the chicken on a drumstick, you will end up consuming excess fat. Okay, so, and fat is very light. You know, like, for example, if your daily intake of fat is 50 grams, for example, okay, and maybe that skin of chicken weighs around 80 grams, and you have not factored in maybe the fat that you're using on your bread, the oil that you're also that you'll also use to fry your vegetables, the fat that is in the milk that you're consuming, in the 3 meals that you will eat in a day. Okay, so you find fat is a culprit because first and foremost, it is high in calories.
Right.
Then secondly, like, we use it to prepare almost every meal. That is why people end up consuming excess.
All right.
Yeah, so you'll find, as one would ask, why is it that the Maasai eat a lot of meat and yet they are lean?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, remember, Maasais are nomadic in nature, so they will eat that meat, okay, but they will walk long distances grazing their cattle and looking for pasture. So they end up burning the fat.
Excess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's something to remember, definitely going into the festive season, but then also further beyond that, also for life. And that's why it's important that we have these conversations. Our Healthy Friday conversation today has been nutrition around the festive season, but then interestingly enough with nutrition, Agnes Tati has beyond that and into how you can actually make it work for life. Thank you so much for being here this morning with us. And we come into more conversations after this, but a good one to remember even as you trot off to the festivities this weekend and then into next week at 9:01. Good morning.
The latest news, the only way to start your day.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.
Enjoy fresh chicken leg quarter at 485 shillings. Grape salt per 500 grams at 289 shillings. Dawat basmati rice 5 kg at 1,199 shillings. And Mika Kuka at 27,995 shillings.
Deals kibao kila wiki na Carrefour.